we have on the line Senator Thom Tillis. Mr. Tillis, are you there, sir?
Good morning.
Good morning, my friend. Thank you so much for doing this. I really do appreciate it. You know, I want to do a little setup here, and I don't want to embarrass you, but I have to do this. When we called you to help us be one of the first politicians on this show, you said yes. When we called Senator Tillis and asked him in the middle of the year, your first year in office, if you talked to us about the small business challenges at the time, you said yes. When we called and asked you if you'd consider doing an intro for our small business event, you said yes. When we called again and asked you if you could give us your take on the CARE Act and the PPP loans, you said yes. And again this year, sir, we try and take advantage of you, and we ask you to give us an intro for our 2-day small business event. And again, sir, you said yes. On and on and on. I don't have time, but when Senator Tillis is asked, he delivers. Senator Thom Tillis, North Carolina's small business advocate and friend. My friend, buddy, thank you so much for doing this for us. I know you've got another business engagement that you're going to be doing at the Lake Norman Chamber. And if people want to watch this, he's going to be on, you can go to Lake Norman Chamber website, and Thom Tillis is going to be zooming in, talking about business matters as well in the Lake Norman Chamber. Sir, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Actually, I got my Lake Norman T-shirt or shirt on that I got from the Visitor Center. I'd encourage everybody to go into Cornelius and visit and take a look at what our region has to offer.
So I know you've only got a few minutes, so I'm going to act like Chris Wallace. Don't laugh. I know this amateur shouldn't do that, right? Okay, but let's try and make these lightning rounds because Garrett and I have 6 questions we'd like to ask you. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Number 1, and we've kind of put these in order of how we believe small business people are thinking or have questions. And here's my first one. This is anecdotal, but I have over 50 current business clients. I have over 250 past and present buyers and sellers. And I have an in-home database of over 12,000 business owners throughout the country. About 60% of them are out of state. I've got a social media contact list of over 27,000. Every single one of them are telling me that there is a substantial labor challenge and or shortage, if you want to use that word. And I see and hear my president on national television say he sees no evidence of a labor challenge or shortage. Senator, am I missing something?
He also denies that there's a crisis at the border. Look, there is a huge problem. It's not anecdotal. And all you have to do is look to the nearly 24 states that are going to eliminate the federal supplement for unemployment. We have to get people back to work. This weekend, it really marks the beginning of the tourist season in North Carolina. There are businesses across the state that are opening up at lower capacity simply because they don't have the job. And Joe, I'll give you a great example at exit 28. I went to get my truck washed a couple of weeks ago and decided to walk down to the Waffle House at exit 28, one of my favorite eating establishments. It's closed. It's got a now hiring sign in the window. We have businesses. If we want to get the economy back on track, we have to get people back to work. It's why I didn't extend unemployment benefits when every other state in the nation did back coming out of the last financial crisis. We've got to get people back to work. If they don't go back to work, they're making the false assumption that that job's going to be available when the unemployment benefits run out in September.
Yeah, it is the number one thing on the minds of small business people, and it's affecting commerce on almost every industry level. Are you seeing that as well?
100%. I mean, agriculture, construction, hotels, restaurants, up and down the line. You have to keep in mind, we've done everything we could during the crisis with the Paycheck Protection Program to let people make payroll. Now they don't have people coming back so that they can give them a paycheck, and businesses are prepared to do that.
Yep. You just stepped right into Garrett's question.
Yeah, Senator Tillis, those of us in small business are obviously aware that you've carried the flag in North Carolina for the CARES Act and also PPP loans. Can you just briefly talk about where we're at with those now and maybe where we're headed?
Well, right now, a lot of the businesses feel like if they can get employees back to work, that they're going to be fine, they're going to be able to make payroll. But we are going through the phase of forgiving the loans. A lot of people, when you think about a loan, you think about having to pay it back. But we had a forgiveness provision for a good portion of the loans that were underwritten over the last year. So the banks right now are going through the process. Businesses need to make sure that they're applying for forgiveness. It's going through the Small Business Administration. But I'm absolutely convinced that what we did last year helped us weather this pandemic. We're coming on the backside. Now we just got to get economic activity moving, even beyond what it already is. And it's active. People are spending money, but you can't sell something unless you got an employee there to pick it, pack it, and get it to the customer.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. So let's keep moving on the lightning round. So can we talk a little bit about the gas shortage and from a small business perspective? I got to be honest with you, Senator. We're not really worried about 10, 15 days of having to manage gas usage. We're really concerned about the security issues in a lot of industries. Can you talk about that?
Well, yeah, you've got it was amazing. The Interior Secretary, when we had the Colonial Pipeline shut down, a reporter asked, well, are we going to have trucks and trains? And the Interior Secretary said, well, we may, but the best way to transport energy are pipelines. Now, she works for a guy who canceled the XL pipeline. The administration and lawsuits have prevented the Atlantic Coast Pipeline. The Colonial Pipeline is a single point of failure going all the way from Louisiana up to the northeast mid-Atlantic states. Now, while we're shutting down pipelines here, the president just this week lifted sanctions. Is going to allow Russia to have a pipeline going into Europe. We have a serious threat to disruption, but even more so, there's no question in my mind gas prices are going up. They've already gone up. I told people last year, take a picture of your favorite gas station. Mine's Cashin's here at Sanford and Catawba, and I said, take a picture of that and look at it next year and look at it every month from that point forward. It's not out of the realm of possibilities that we're going to be paying plus $4 a gallon in North Carolina. And what worries me about that is that's a hidden tax. People have to remember where it was and think about how much more you're going to be paying to get around. And it hurts for me, when we had the pipeline outage, I was thinking about, people topping off their tank. When I was growing up and working in a warehouse, I never filled up my tank. I just got enough to get where I was going and hopefully got some more cash to get back home. I feel bad for those people and how they're going to be able to top off their tanks as we get into $4 gas prices.
And Senator, stop me if I'm wrong, but daggone, I thought we'd solve this problem. I mean,
we did. Garrett, we became an energy superpower. We were producing more energy than any country in the world. We have reserves of natural gas, which is a fraction of the carbon footprint of fossil fuels. We had the ability to supply energy. Now, we literally had emergency measures with a Colonial Pipeline taking foreign energy when we have plenty to take out of the ground. And the United States is the gold standard for doing it in an environmentally sound way. Now we've taken that off the table. It's like it was the strongest, it was the most powerful, non-lethal weapon we had for national security, and Joe Biden has unilaterally disarmed.
Oh, the only thing that comes to mind is frustrating. Let's go to the next question. My friend, why can't we solve the immigration problem? I have been promised by every president since Ronald Reagan that they're going to fix this. Why is this so hard? And again, I thought we really came close to solving it last year.
Well, we did. And, I've staked myself out here. Here's a message to my conservative friends. We have to recognize that the DACA population should get a path to citizenship. We need to recognize there's a crisis at the border. We have to secure the border. You need to go to your small businesses, go to agriculture, go to seafood picking and packing, and understand that they've got a labor shortage that won't even be solved when Americans get back to work. So we need to come up with a solution that's balanced, that has an absolute guarantee that we end the crisis at the border. I was down there about 7 weeks ago. It's a catastrophe. But this is where, the right sometimes says, no way, I only want a secure border. I'm not going to deal with immigration. You're not going to get anything done in the U.S. Senate unless you're willing to negotiate a compromise that has equal measures in there. We're not going to do amnesty, but there's a rational solution out there that I think Republicans should step up and lead on.
So let's go, because I know you got to go. So let me ask you another question. Do you have any thoughts on big tech receiving protection from, how I see it, silencing free speech?
Yeah, I think we need to hold them accountable. There are people like me that are saying maybe we need to treat big tech like we treated the railroads. It's become an essential facility. It's virtually impossible for anybody else to get beyond what a Facebook and Google and others have done. And we need to provide fair and free access. Back when I had a prostate surgery, I had a buddy of mine post on a site wishing Senator Tillis well and a speedy recovery. Facebook took it down because they deemed it political.
Yeah. Every one of my small business people have that exact same problem at one point or another. And there's not a better senator to help with this than you, sir, because I know you've got some background in this. So we're looking for you to help us solve this problem. I've got one more question for you. Then I know you've got to go. We're hearing so much, and it's the last question because it's not top of mind. It's just a question we keep hearing. Do you believe there was some kind of election shenanigans, fraud, if you want to use that word, on a large scale throughout the country? Give us your opinion on that.
I think there's always fraud. We've seen it. We've seen it where sometimes it was associated with a Republican candidate. We've seen it with Democrat candidates. That's why we have to improve integrity in elections. The real argument here is, was it of a mass scale that dramatically changed the elections? I think that's rare. I know that'll probably anger some people here, but I've spoken to a lot of the leaders in the states that were in contention, Republican leaders, and most of them felt like, there was some element of fraud, but in their judgment, it wasn't enough to change the outcome of the election. However, if we can't guarantee to the voters that their vote's going to be counted and that we minimize fraud, it's going to cause people to say, why even waste my time? And I'm telling everybody who listens, please vote. We will find people who do mass fraud, but you've got to get out there and vote and have your voice heard. I honestly believe it's the lack of showing up that lost Georgia and why we're in a minority right now.
Senator, thank you so much. I really wish you and I had some time to talk about the successes that you have had over the years. We don't have that time on this show. Let's plan on getting you back so we can talk about some of the successes you have. You've got about a minute or so. How do you want to end this? What would you like to say to small business people that are listening?
That we will do a lot of our casework consistently over the last 6 years, but certainly since COVID has hit, has been focused on businesses. We've helped a lot of people with the Paycheck Protection Program. We've helped them through hurdles with the federal government. Let them know. You all should know. Small businesses, I know you're the engine for job creation. You're the most important sector for North Carolina's economy. I love small businesses. They work hard. It's a complex, very challenging task, and as long as I'm in the U.S. Senate, I'll do everything I can to help them.
Senator, from small business people to you, we know you're fighting for us, sir. Thank you so much. Mr. Thom Tillis, I cannot thank you enough. When we ask, you deliver. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a good, focused Friday with Lake Norman Chamber today.
You guys have a great day. God bless.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.